I'm going to mark the hashtags on how I'm doing and where we're at in the sequence that it is day 20 of going live where I have to eat dog food. So here is the ritual. These big fat markers. They're like fatties. So yeah, I'm an ADHD coach and I was challenged to go live for 30 days. I'm on day 20, so I'm pretty good at being consistent so far. Cross my fingers that I'm able to keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to have to eat that dog food. But tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about why coaching. Like, does coaching for ADHD actually help? Like, is it a good thing? And of course, you can probably guess what my bias is. That I'm an ADHD coach, and so yeah, I would say that it's important. But I think if I started back, maybe looking at 2014, when I was starting to work with three guys and helping them to craft their goals and to work on stuff, when we would just get together and meet up for coffee, it was like, yeah, I really want to accomplish this, but I just don't know where to start. And it like this vision just seems like really big. But when you have somebody else that's like an outsider on, giving you a perspective, like it can sometimes be very easy to see like, oh, well, it's just steps 1, 2, 3. That's it. And that other person, the one that's living the experience, it's all these ideas, all these things are in their head and they're not able to have it very clear. Whereas this outsider perspective, like a coach, can very clearly see, oh, you just need to do X, Y, Z, and then you'll have it. And that's easy because it's like you're not the one having to do it. Your emotions aren't clouding your judgment. So yeah, I think I have a regret that I didn't start working with a coach sooner. I got a coach when I was going through Infuse in 2022, and then I got a grant through that program, and so then I was able to hire a business coach and work with them. And then I've interviewed countless ADHD coaches and gotten some feedback on just my life and on how I do things. And there's just this weird hack. I remember teaching with Lead Local about mirror neurons and how like when we see somebody else doing something that fires part of our brain and our brain almost thinks, oh, you're doing that thing also. And so like when we're watching videos or we're watching TV shows and they go through these challenges and then they come out the other side and they're victorious, like we feel some of that because of these mirror neurons. And so like that's a little bit of a hack for how to get things done with ADHD is to watch somebody else doing that thing, to have somebody else describe it in very simple terms and like kind of tell that story. You can also do like just the body doubling where you're just around somebody else that's doing work and all of a sudden your mirror neurons start firing and you're like, oh, I should probably do some work too. And it's just this weird behavior that's built into our brains, but it's, it can be hacked. It can be used for good. I heard a quote about, somebody was like, oh man, can't we just gaslight ourselves into doing better, like mental health wise? And somebody else commented, that's what therapy is like kind of gaslighting yourself into, fixing these thought patterns or these mental foibles that you're going through. And so a while ago, I was thinking of calling this program Focus Hacks, and calling each person a focus hacker. So I don't know if that resonates with you or not. I've always liked the term like hacker. And so like finding ways of just hacking my focus to be able to like get the most out of my brain when I'm having a challenging day. And so, one of those hacks is getting coaching, getting help from somebody, and getting insight into what's going on in your life. And then also there's this piece of when you meet with somebody regularly, there's accountability, which I don't know if that word doesn't resonate with you, or you're like, ugh, accountability, I don't like that. Like that doesn't sound good. But it really can help you to grow. So if you have a clear reason why you want to change or make improvements in your life, ADHD is like holding you back and you're frustrated with like, I don't want to live a life of mediocrity. I want to do better. I want to accomplish more. I've got these dreams in my life that I want to pursue. Coaching can help you do that by like basically like doing these hacks, where like just by being accountable and talking through your goals on a weekly basis, talking through like what are the in the moment when you're experiencing distraction, what are some things that you can do. So I'm now thinking of those and my brain's like interrupting me like, oh, well, you could talk about this, talk about that. Like, no, that this isn't the space for that. But there are lots of tools that you can just pull out of your tool belt and like, oh, I'm distracted right now. I'm going to do step 1. I'm going to do step 2. The secret Chris told me about step 3. I'm going to do that one this time. And then the beauty of also like, talking through this regularly is you get to keep iterating and improving on things, which is part of the, it's the 7th habit. It's the OODA, observe, orient, decide, act. It's this loop where you get to keep adjusting and improving things. And coaching helps you to do that. It helps you to fine tune it. Stephen Covey calls it sharpen the saw, which is his 7th habit. I like OODA better. It's a little bit more complicated, but to me, it fires my brain and it makes me think of like how to actually implement it. So, I have some sticky notes over here to remind me of the other things that I wanted to talk about. I think I have, regret that I didn't start working with coach earlier. And it's because of the power of coaching, of being accountable, of saying you're going to show up to a coaching meeting and then showing up. And then that proves to yourself that you have this ability to follow through on things, even if you tend to have a challenge with that. But I don't know. My brain is going lots of places as usual. I also didn't get very much sleep last night. Funny enough, it wasn't the baby though. It was the Chipotle. I'm lactose intolerant, and I went and got Chipotle last night, and they put I think a little bit of cheese fell into one of the salsas or the carnitas. I'm not sure which. And I was up till 1 a.m. with my tummy just growling at me. And I took like papaya enzymes, and I took some apple cider vinegar, and I took some lactate. And then finally I took some Daily Digestive, which is from Whole Foods. And that finally broke down the lactose where I was able to sleep, but did not get good sleep last night. And then the baby did wake me up at 4:30. So back to coaching. Why should you think about coaching if you have ADHD? There's this quote that you are getting the exact results that your life has designed to get so far. I think the quote is around organizations, that they're getting the exact results for the way that they're structured. And so in order to get different results, you need to do something different. You need to start tweaking knobs and changing things. Like, what are your habits? What's your diet like? What's your morning routine? What about working out? And as someone with the ADHD, it can feel overwhelming to have these 9 things. Like, oh, I need to work on supplements, and I need to be working out, and oh my gosh, like my room's a mess, and I need to organize the chaos, and I need to master time, and where do I even start? Like, that's where a coach can work with you and can okay, here, we're going to start on step 1. Like, yes, you might have all these ideas, but just start somewhere. Like, progress over perfection. And then, okay, take this next step, and then take this next step. There's something really powerful in having a framework and just following the framework. And that's what I've been putting together is these 7 habits and a framework every week of what to go through and what to start doing. And then we actually do it again and we do it again, because like you're going to not get everything the first time, or it's not going to make sense. So then you go through it the second time and, oh, that makes more sense now. Oh, okay. Like I'm able to really do the work. And so it might take 7-8 times of going through these habits, for ADHD to improve, your focus and your flow, and to like start exercising or just going on walks, to start taking supplements, to go to a naturopath, make that appointment, and to figure out what are the neurotransmitters that are low in your brain. And there are some that are likely just true for everyone with ADHD, although I'm not a doctor or a psychologist, and I don't pretend to be one on the internet. But there are commonalities, and so you can take what works for you, and then what doesn't work, keep adjusting, keep changing, keep dialing in those knobs of what is your recipe for success with ADHD, and then what do you need to keep cranking up. I know I took one of my supplements, like I usually take 2 on an empty stomach, and then I'm good the rest of the day. Well, I had a really busy day, and I forgot, I couldn't remember if I had exactly taken those 2. So in the afternoon, I took another 500 milligrams, and I was awake until like 2 or 3 a.m. because my brain was just buzzing, like going, which is cool, but also like I have to dial that back. Like I can't take that supplement in the afternoons. I can only take it in the mornings, like when I'm on an empty stomach, because I will just be going, and it feels great. Like it's like my brain is like firing on all cylinders, like it hasn't been in years. Because I know I used this analogy a while ago, but it feels like riding a unicycle. Like mastering my ADHD feels like riding a unicycle, and like when I get the at least 6 or 7 of the 9 or 10 things that requires, like I can be on very little sleep and still be able to focus. I can forget my supplements one day and I'm still golden, that I can like do all this stuff. And so it does feel like juggling like lots of things, and even if I drop one, I'm able to like find my focus and flow, despite not getting very much sleep and having a newborn, because I've got like all these habits in place. And so even if one drops away, it doesn't matter. And what was really frustrating is when I didn't have, when I was only focusing on one thing, like working out. Okay, working out's going to be the thing. That's going to be my thing that's going to help my ADHD. Well, I still had gut issues. I didn't have the supplements that I needed to be taking. My diet sucked. I wasn't doing the Pomodoro method. I wasn't mastering time or organizing the chaos. And so that one thing, working out, yes, it was going to help me focus, but there were so many other things that were hindering me that it didn't have an appreciable impact. Whereas once I had kind of this momentum going by having these 7 habits all in place, all of a sudden it's like I've unlocked this next level, this next layer of potential. And coaching can do that for you if you can like figure out what are the things that you need to be doing, because it's unique to you. And so, yeah, I'm excited to launch the group coaching program. But even just to share, even if you didn't join, even if you didn't sign up on the wait list, like I think I'll be putting out tons of free resources and tons of things. And by the way, I have a Notion template that has over 40 links of videos, of books, of like YouTube, podcasts, like diet, like all these things that I've kind of dove into and researched to build out my 7 focus habits of for an intentional life. And I'll give you like all those resources for free in my Notion template. And if you have other things that you see that aren't on there, like I'd love for you to add them too. So happy to kind of open source my research and open source like this process, because I want to help more people that think like me, that have ADHD, that maybe felt alone growing up, alone in class, alone when I took the ASVAB and I was like 27th percentile in one area, and I was 99th percentile in 3 other areas. And my dog is barking. Hey, buddy, come in here. Hi, come. Yeah, it bothers me when he's messing with our neighbors. Hi, come. So I should have just put him in the crate. But yeah, so open sourcing all that information. I just have this passion to help others like me to not have to deal with the same challenges that I did. You're not alone. There's other people that think like you or similar to you. And imagine if we could come together and help each other. And I put a lot of research into making it happen for me. So yeah, follow along. And today is day 20 of going live. So I've got 9 more days. And I've got my wall full of stickies of all the days that I've done. So that's kind of motivating me to keep going. And then, of course, I've got my tracker here of hash marks and progress bar. So stay tuned whether or not I have to eat this dog food or whether I finish the 30-day challenge. So looking forward to it. Hey, Dom. Hey, Akosha Pocket. Good to see you on Instagram. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, hello. I don't see who's on there. But yeah, thanks for joining. Hope you have a good night. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, then I will have to eat dog food. But yeah, see you soon. Bye, Instagram. And all right, Facebook, you're going away. Goodbye. Have a good night.